Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today is going to be some stuff that's happened to me in my life. And the first thing I want to discuss is health issues. And my most recent diagnosed health issue is when I was in middle school. I was diagnosed with Osgood's collateral disease, which is most common in young, overweight, athletic males. But now it's starting to get common in females as well. And what that is your tendons in your knees are overworked and your bone and it shifts your bones out of place. And sometimes it will create new bones that sticks out of your leg. The main symptoms you have is pain and inflammation. Back when I was first diagnosed with it, there was no cure, just treatments, which was mainly the rice treatment and special braces that cost $150 each back then because the insurances did not cover it. Luckily, I had went through the Shriners here and they bought me a pair at that time, but they didn't last long and I haven't had a pair since. So with my disease, I can safely say you will not see me dancing on any streams or anything because my knees are in constant pain and doctors will not do anything about it because if I do have surgery on them, that there's a chance I can lose all my blood flow in the lower part of my leg. And the reason why I said this is my most recent diagnosis is because thanks to medical insurance companies that are run through the state, since I am a male, they will not give me free insurance. So I haven't been to a doctor to be diagnosed with anything else since I was 18. And the insurances that they offer, you have to be on disability to get them. And with my disease, I don't qualify to get them. But if I was ever to be able to afford to go to the doctor, I know for a fact they would find a lot more wrong with me. For mental diseases and physical ailments. Because I do have some lumps on my body that hasn't been checked out. I have 2 in my stomach and 1 in the back of my neck. But I can't afford to go get them checked out. And speaking of medical issues and mental issues, that's going to bring me in my next topic. In 2015, I was in a complicated relationship that ended up with a 4-year-old boy losing his life. You may have heard this story because it was international and national news. So all the fact checkers Googled the name Brayden, Braydan, Trahern, Trahern. You won't find my name attached to any of the information, more than likely, because I was listed as primary witness because I'm the one who found Brayden unconscious that morning. And that brings me to some ghost stories that I was going to talk about. After Braden passed away, I was helping mothers clean up the trailer and packing them because they spent the first few days not at home. And during that time, the TV would go on and off by itself. I would still hear Braden's footsteps and talking in the background and all that. And I was the only one at the trailer at the time when I'd hear this stuff. And I told the mother to tell Braden it was okay to cross over, and she never did. Well, one night I got a phone call about 11 o'clock at night from their old next door neighbor. And he asked me if Braden loved to watch TV and if he stood close to it. And I told him he did. Then the guy was telling me that the current resident of the trailer kept seeing a ghost or a spirit in front of the TV of a little kid. And the guy didn't know anything about it, about what happened to Braden, because he was an immigrant. So, all he could describe the kid was he was about 4 and that it was a male. So my friend showed him pictures of different kids. And when they got to Braden's, he said, "That's the boy." And that's when, once they got done talking about it, that's when the guy called me and told me this story. Well, then a few months later, after that resident left out, the stove caught on fire. And it only burnt the stove. And there was no electricity, nobody living in the residence or anything like that. And that was another thing Braden loved to do. Was he loved playing with fire, and he loved being in the kitchen near the stove. And the fire marshal never figured out what caused the fire. And I know Braden's still with me to this day, because every year on the day of his death, and also on the exact same time that I found him that morning, he's given me signs. The first year after this happened, I woke up drenched in sweat. The second year I woke up to my dad yelling at my mom because she was about to sleepwalk out of the apartment. She had her shoes on and all that, and all she kept saying was she was looking for someone. Last year, we moved 2 trailers away from his old home. And again, the exact date and time, 4:30 in the morning, or 4 o'clock in the morning, someone came knocking on my door when I was asleep. So I get up to answer it, and the woman asked, "Is there a little kid around? I'm looking for a missing kid." So I know Braden keeps sending me signs. And I'm sorry if the phone's shaking and all that. This is some hard facts for me to discuss, but I've been wanting to discuss it publicly for a while. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about was another incident I had. The day that my dad had passed away, our radio kept switching channels. It got all staticky and all that. And so I went to fix the channels to get to the first station it was in. And the first station happened to be playing one of my dad's favorite songs, "I'll Fly Away." The second station played another one, which my dad loved. It was "Coal Miner's Daughter" by Loretta Lynn. After that, I finally got it back up to where my mom liked her radio station at. And then one day, I was listening to a stream, and I was thinking about my dad at the time. I'm not gonna mention no streams, but one of the people in the stream was singing "I'll Fly Away Again," which was again one of my dad's favorite songs. And the last thing I want to say is I will continue my promises I made to people. And if I do any more future streams, I'm going to be working on would you rather questions and true or false questions. And that's what I'm going to be working on in the near future. And the next thing I want to say, the last thing, is everyone please go subscribe to Just Robin and show her some love. She's done 2 streams already, and she could really use the support. And I want to thank everybody for watching and supporting me. And again, I do apologize for the shaking. These 2 topics was very hard for me to discuss, and most of them I've never told anyone all of it. By my personal choice. And thank y'all for watching. Have a great night, and I'll see you sometime. Peace.